Test us, test test. Hey guys, welcome back. This Week in Stupid, second episode. Look at that. I have gone 2 weeks in a row, 2 episodes. Good times. Feel like we're off to a good start. So, oh wow. So glad to be back. So glad to be back. There's a lot of stories. I actually have like 6 pages of notes here. I had to cut it down. So much going on. Tried to focus on what was the most important. Still also trying to figure out why I'm so red in these live videos. But anyways, you know what? All that aside, just as I said in the chat, I'm going to get that mug out. I meant to order it. I was in Vistaprint going through everything. For the mug, had it ready, and then I got distracted by all this other stuff I was going to order, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to check my account, come back to order, and then I got busy with the night. So we're going to get that out there. Everyone else, more mug opportunities will come in time. All right. If this is your first time here, welcome to the chat. This is where I, Adam, your host, walk you through the most ridiculous stories of the week. Let us go ahead and dive in right now. First story. Whoop. Oh, Florida. You know, it always seems like it's Florida, but it usually starts with Florida man. In this case, it is Florida man, but it's his man's best friend. Watches Florida man's dog. Puts car in reverse. Circles cul-de-sac for an hour. Let's play the video. Why not? Oh, well, it looks like we're going to see an ad first. I don't get any money, Xfinity. You guys owe me that. You owe me money for that. This literally goes on for an hour. 1 hour of that. Can you... Anyways. Florida man's dog. Why is it always Florida? Always Florida. I love you, Florida, but... For real, For real, Florida. Come on. You guys are crazy. All right. Putnam County, New York. Elephant in the chat room. Oh, boy. I think I have a story on that. Did I miss that one? We'll get to that at the end. I think. Nope, I don't have that, but I got some good ones on that when we get to the gun chat. All right, hey, look. Sorry, you guys get me distracted over there. If you want to have a discussion, side chat, go for it. Go there. All right. Next up. Kanye West says he in service to God at Houston mega church appearance. Look, here's what happened. I don't really know what to make of Kanye West right now. I'm not sure if he is stark raving mad, if he's crazy like a fox, or does he see some financial opportunity to use Christianity to make a little extra money, using that as his platform. But he's going to hang out with Joel Osteen, who is a super creepy dude, basically preaches the worship God, give his church money, and you'll get rich, scheme. So I'd say stay away from that con man. But no one listens to me. All right. Next story. Wow, let's get it to reload. All right. This one freaks me out a bit. And we're still just in the goofy stories. Genetically engineered babies within 2 years as scientists make breakthrough. It looks like that's a little hard to read. Let's do that. There we go. Now you can really see that headline good. Good and well. So basically, this guy, this doctor named Kevin Smith, not this one, but a guy named Kevin Smith. He thinks it's his argument. He published an analysis that found the risk of gene editing are now low enough to warrant the use on human embryos. He argued this is morally justifiable and could be started in less than 2 years. And he predicted such research could kickstart a revolution in producing genetically modified GM people. So, he argues this is morally justifiable, but is eugenics morally acceptable? And when? I understand you could make the argument that eliminating diseases in the womb, such as Down syndrome, could be amazing and, fix it and to where they can be born and not suffer from that disease instead of the eugenics policy of simply going, oh, we think your baby's going to have Down syndrome, so we should suck it out with a tube and then scrape it out with a spatula. All right, that's, I think we all agree that is repugnant. So maybe I can see some leeway there. But how long until this turns into people deciding they want to make blonde-haired, blue-eyed, little Aryan Nazi babies? I'm just saying. Obviously, I'm going a little... Maybe it is a little far-fetched to go that way and say that, but is it? Is it really so far-fetched that people will start making, trying to make the most perfect baby they can instead of taking what nature gave them for their own genetics? All right, next story. Oh, my little video in the back stopped playing. Why did you do that? I don't like it. Whatever. Anyways, so the next story. Let me just play the video. You guys are going to enjoy this. Yeah. All right. Oh, let me get out of the way. So, we're looking at... This is Musk unveiling his new
maybe that was a little too
truck.
Hard.
And they're saying the thing is bulletproof, and then they're smashing it the windows with bullet holes.
Oh man, it didn't go through. We threw everything. We even literally threw.
Oh boy, that did not go so well, did it? And it looks like my sound didn't work for that, unless my Whatever. All right. If you had sound, I hope so. And yes, D, yes, Hitler did try fun things like eugenics. Like it. Look, they love to sit here and go, "Oh, these are crazy conspiracies." When you talk about these things on the internet, oh, this is just the internet. That's not going to happen. No eugenics is going to happen. We're here. We're there. And here is where things get very interesting, though. Here is a very interesting news story. And I have two of them. Two headlines for the same story. All right. Oh, I did have a whole spiel about talking about Tesla, but whatever. So let's talk about this. Humans put into suspended animation for the first time. Humans put into suspended animation for the first time. And this is The Guardian saying groundbreaking trial in U.S. rapidly cools trauma victims with catastrophic injury to buy more time for surgery. Well, that sounds pretty cool and all. And they're talking about this being used to save lives. Essentially, what they do is they use a process of rapidly cooling the brain to less than 10 Celsius by replacing the patient's blood with ice-cold saline solution. Typically, the solution is pumped directly into the aorta, the main artery that carries blood away from the rest of the body. Now, this is formerly known as EPR, Emergency Preservation and Resuscitation. And this is saying that patients who are often victims of stabbings and shootings would normally have less than a 5% chance of survival is when they would use this. But, you know what? What if someone has a much better spin for this story? This is sounding too practical. Let's sci-fi it up a bit. Space travel barrier removed as docks freeze and revive human for first time. Process is initially intended to save lives on Earth rather than send astronauts on long-haul flights. But you know what? I think the Daily Star has got it figured out. This really could be the future. The future really could be beginning with this for space colonization. And right, D, Han Solo totally turned out fine. His son, kind of a dick. But Han Solo, good dude. And yes, he shot first. And if you disagree with me, just know you are wrong. He shot first. George Lucas, you have spent the last several years destroying the original Star Wars movies with every single remake you made. Anyways, now we get onto a whole nother tirade. Let's go to the chat for a minute, just because I think it would be fun to have a little talk about that stuff real quick. There we go. So, just because some of your conversations were pretty good, we were talking about the Tesla truck. I'm gonna be honest. I thought it looks kind of cool, but I thought it kind of looks a little weird. I don't think I'd ever want to own one. And I still worry about the environmental impact of these electric cars with their giant batteries that are going to end up in landfills, leaking out all sorts of nastiness in a few years. They weigh hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Your normal little lead battery is bad enough, right? We get lectured about those. And then we always have the fact that, well, what are these electric cars powered by? Or where does the power that powers them come from? Probably a natural gas or coal or maybe nuclear power plant, but whatever. Not very. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of them. Now, by the way, who all do we have out here? We got John, we got D, we got Ozark, we got just us today. Well, more people will hop in. That's fine. Oh, yeah, and the Cobalt. I get it, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's... Anyways. let's hop back into this news because now we're starting to get into some more deep stuff here. Now, this one I found pretty nuts, right? Former CIA officer sentenced to 19 years for conspiring with Chinese spies. You see the headline right there. Jerry Chun-Xing Lee is the third former U.S. intelligence officer to be convicted in less than a year of conspiring with the Chinese to give them national defense information. This man is 55 years old, has served 13 years in the CIA. He served in several locations overseas, including China, where prosecutors said he had first provided firsthand knowledge of some of the agency's most sensitive secrets, including the names of covert CIA officers and clandestine human sources in China. Now, if you guys remember, it was, not even a year or two ago, when they found Dianne Feinstein's driver was a Chinese spy. How many Chinese spies are there in our government? Maybe that is something we should look into. Maybe we should have another Red Scare to find that out. Obviously we don't need McCarthyism, full-blown McCarthyism where we start just accusing everyone of being a commie. But this is a big deal. And maybe that is a great explanation for why it seems that our government seems so much now to work against us and against the American people. I don't know. But this is no bueno. Third, less than a year. Another question, another little saved round. Do they control the DNC? Who in the RNC do they control? Think about that, guys. All right, now let's have a little fun with let's talk about Epstein because this scandal, this conspiracy continues to roll. It is continuing. Next story. Let's go here. Jeffrey Epstein's A-list guests were secretly filmed in every bedroom and toilet in his home, accuser claims. So if this is the case, where is the FBI? Why are they not making arrests left and right with the amount of evidence they should have? Because if you remember, they went to his island, although they took a long time to get there. It took them at least a week to get there. But they pulled out all sorts of computers and data. I have a hard time believing that the FBI does not have all this data on Epstein and all the little dirty secrets, all the people who spent years going there. I mean, they may still be finding people who were doing stuff. I mean, if there's years and years worth of video and logs to go through, that I could understand. But, I mean, I think the reality is we should be seeing people locked up left and right. But, of course, these are all important people. It's not like they're getting. It seems like most of the time they catch the pedophiles they catch are just some random schmuck, right? Just a regular middle America person. Why don't they ever get the big ones, huh? Why aren't these people at the top getting caught? Because I'm glad that the regular everyday predator is getting caught, but I want these people taken out. I want them to go down. And I want to say taken out, I don't mean that in a pew-pew assassination arkanside like Epstein was. But I mean I want them to go down through the legal system. In case YouTube overlords are watching and want to shut me down for perhaps saying I'm promoting violence, which I am not. Now, so yeah, where is the FBI? Are they afraid of being arkancided? Is that all this is? Who are they protecting? Who are these people protecting? Epstein prison guards tell feds they won't turn rat. DOJ to file charges against Epstein prison guards. So the FBI is considering they're filing criminal charges against the guards who failed to do their job. Now, what is interesting is I didn't get this in. The story broke. I saw it today, and I did all my writing yesterday, did all my notes yesterday, got all my links yesterday compiled. Barr, the Attorney General, said, oh, this was just a series of unfortunate circumstances. There's no conspiracy here. I'm sorry, but there's a conspiracy here. There is. Even if you believe that Epstein killed himself, let's say he didn't murder himself as, morticians have said. Say he committed suicide. There's still a whole conspiracy with this thing going on. All these people he knew. Why are they not going down? Now we're going to talk a little bit about his best buddy, Epstein's best buddy, okay? Prince Andrew. I want y'all to watch this clip. Tell me what you think.
Sorry,
please tell me the sound is.
Forgotten that Jeffrey Epstein, the offense with which he was charged and for which he was imprisoned was soliciting prostitution from minors. That is not the same thing as pedophilia. Soliciting
what do you call it?
Prostitution.
If you solicit a 14-year-old for prostitution, you're a paedophile.
It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't.
Does matter.
And they were not 14
for sex.
in America.
I'm sorry.
He wasn't a decent man.
That is nonsense.
No, it's not.
All right, I think that is enough. She's saying he's not. Jeffrey Epstein was not a pedophile. He was merely soliciting prostitution from minors. He just liked to have sex with prostitutes who were under the age of 18, therefore children. So, no. A minor is a minor, even if they are a prostitute. What is the logic that prostitutes... Is it the logic that prostitutes are not people, so having sex with them isn't statutory rape? Sorry, but Epstein and his deviant affiliates are a bunch of pedophiles. Prince Andrew is a pedophile. Now, something that has happened since then is that Prince Andrew has basically been kicked out of Buckingham Palace over the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, to which all I have to say is pretty much, well, good. And for one little more thing I can show you that I think y'all will appreciate, I want y'all to see what how the New York Post put this up. I love that graphic. Essentially, he has been removed from all duties as a royal. I don't think they can necessarily say he's not royalty anymore, but I don't know. But look, he's essentially been fired for being a pedophile, friend of Epstein. And if the FBI has any footage from Epstein's data logs, which are apparently extensive, I think he should be extradited to pay for his crimes in the United States, in our court system. Because he would have been raping American children in the U.S., on U.S. soil. So when he was palling around with his pedo buddy, Jeffrey Epstein, that's what he was doing. So I want to know, where is the justice? Because he's royalty, he gets to escape it? Is that what this is? No. He should go through the court system and spend the rest of his life in jail. And he shouldn't even be put in some cushy jail. Put him in the general population in one of the hardest prisons you can find and let nature sort itself out. And then when something bad happens, because he was put in some, I don't know, maybe some Georgia prison and a 6'4", 350-pound linebacker-sized dude named Bubba, reams out his butt so much that the guy dies. Well, the royal family, sorry guys. What are they going to do? Start a war? Now, let's lighten it up a little bit. Have a little fun here with... Let's play the clip. So, if you've been following the presidential election, you know Cory Booker refers to himself as Spartacus. I present to you Fartgate.
Who were on the phone listening to the president talk about this swap of dirt for U.S. military aid.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard from Republicans all last week was that you don't have anyone who heard the call.
Nothing's happening. Eric Swalwell, if you didn't realize who that was, the guy who threatened to nuke gun owners, failed presidential candidate, only running on taking people's gun rights pretty much. Didn't work out too well for him. Farting on live television. And what's funny is lawmaker denied ripping an absolutely enormous fart on live television. It's not me, or it was not me, he tweeted, or a text message or whatever. It's funny though. Hashtag Fartgate trended on Twitter. They later said it was a coffee mug going across a table. And maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But I'll let you decide. And Eric, why not just embrace your flatulence? You can stand in solidarity with the people of San Francisco and its public poop problem. Which, by the way, is getting worse. Yes, take a look at this. San Francisco's poop problem is getting worse. There has been an increase in the number of complaints about feces in the streets of San Francisco lately, according to city data obtained by rental site RentHop. RentHop is found using public data from the city's website, where people can complain to the city about reports of human and animal waste, that the city has received more than 25,000 complaints about fecal matter between January and November of this year. This is the America that the American left wants to bring to you. They want shit on the streets. That is the new progressive America. You know what? Ban toilets. Or we need toilet control, okay? Nobody needs to use the bathroom more than twice a day. Good Lord. All right, so I got a fun video for you. Here's the backstory. Another liberal college, I believe this was Chicago. Another violent leftist, the tolerant left. Let's see how tolerant this person is today. Alright, this guy is holding a sign that says, all lives matter. Can't have that, can we? That's assault and battery. Yep. I was just standing there being...
I'm gonna step back now. That was a battery charge.
Oh, sorry. And from my understanding is there was some more to that, but watch yourselves out there is all I have to say. This woman, quite a peach, due to standing there peacefully counter-protesting. She attacks him and then is delusional enough to think she is in the right about this. So here is a question of the day. Do all lives matter, or do only some lives matter? If not, and if all lives don't matter, whose lives matter? Whose don't? I would like to see her answer, because clearly to her, not all lives matter. Now, this is a story kind of weirdly thrown in here. I'm not going to lie. But if you're not aware of this one, you could have easily missed it this week. And you need to know about this one, because this is dangerous, actually. Not all is well in the economy, and Trump says discussed negative rates in unscheduled Monday meeting with Chair Powell. I won't get into negative rates. That's a long conversation. But suffice it to say, this is bad news and bad policy. If this is the direction our economy is going to go, we are in big trouble. The Federal Reserve is already pumping liquidity into the markets like crazy. And that's likely contributing to the smashing down S&P ratings. But the reality is, you see the Dow going up, the S&P going up, but people's earnings, people are still struggling. That is a reality. Yes, there's more jobs, which is great. But jobs will only be around if the economy stays well. And when I say that the Fed is pumping liquidity into the markets, that's inflation. Negative rates is not good. Other countries are already doing it, and it is not going well for them. Now, according to data published by the Investment Company Institute, U.S. stock funds experienced a staggering $25.2 billion in net outflows during the week that ended in July 2nd. That's right. So basically, as stocks raced towards all-time high, investors were actually taking money out of equities, and a lot of money. So investors are actually running away from Wall Street as they try to hedge their bets against a looming recession. Granted, this data is from several months ago, but it is something to be aware of. Hedge your bets accordingly. All right. These are fun times. Now we can get away from the doom and gloom a little bit. This will be more of a fun one. Did I make you proud? So Biden team blast out post-debate fundraising plea hours before the debate kicked off. The debate was supposed to happen in the evening. He did it in the morning, asking if they made him proud. Look, his marketing campaign, it's terrible. It is just terrible. Maybe he shouldn't have hired Corn Pop as his marketing director. I don't know. But look, this guy should really just go home, retire. His senility is getting so bad. He's clearly regressed to the awkward adolescent age, those years when a boy will do anything to get his dad's approval. Did I make you proud? Is he begging for his parents' approval? Did I make you proud, Pa? This makes sense, though. If you remember, just last year, Biden said that if he were in high school, he would beat the hell out of Trump. So, we see his natural regression is he's gone from a somewhat competent adult to a teenager, and now he's maybe struggling with some hormones and acceptance, and, I guess he's in middle school. Damn. But hey, speaking of Biden, there's more! Breaking, Trump was right. Head of Burisma Holdings indicted in Ukraine. Claims Hunter Biden and partners paid $16.5 million. Oof. Oh boy. So this gets better, and now, oh man, I feel Trump is coming out swinging with this stuff. Kingpin, what is up, buddy? So let's take a look, because not only do we have this, it feels like Trump has some friends in Ukraine, because listen to this. MPs demand Zelensky-Trump investigate suspicion of U.S.-Ukraine corruption involving $7.4 billion. Billion, not million, billion. Ukrainian members of parliament have demanded the presidents of Ukraine and the United States, Volodymyr Zelensky and Donald Trump, investigate suspicions of the legalization of $7.4 billion by the family of ex-president Viktor Yanukovych through the American investment fund Franklin Templeton Investments, in which they said has ties to none other than the U.S. Democratic Party. You didn't see that on CNN, did you? Now let's have fun. Let's look at more of some of the impeachment inquiry. One of the big star witnesses, and Alexander Vindman, admits making up parts of Trump call summary. Now, I'm a veteran. I normally hold our kind of veteran folks in higher regard. But here's the reality. Just because you put on a uniform doesn't not make you a shitbird. I have known quite a few. Hell, there was even times where I could be a shitbird. This guy fits that smashingly. Look, the higher up you go as an officer, it becomes a political game. This is not a secret. This isn't just, a veteran that was enlisted doing the officer enlisted, back and forth. Officers suck, man. No. No. Let's get down here. So this guy was supposed to be the big witness, and now he is admitting to making parts up. I'm going to read this whole story because it is worth it. Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman admitted he made up elements of President Trump's call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in an official summary. Prior to the call, Vindman included a discussion about corruption in the talking points provided by the president, but Trump did not use them in the call. Vindman clarified during his testimony that the president did not bring up the topic rooting out corruption during the phone call, but he included it in his summary of the call anyways. When asked by the Democratic counsel whether the summary he wrote was false, Vindman hesitated. Hesitation is always a good sign you're lying. That's not entirely accurate, but I'm not sure I would describe it as false. It was consistent with U.S. policy, Vindman said. Vindman said he included the rhetoric about corruption as a messaging platform to describe U.S. policy towards Ukraine, even though it was not discussed in the call. Once again, not discussed in the call. So the whole trial that they had, or the whole inquiry, nobody. This guy's making stuff up, and the rest is hearsay. It's called a kangaroo court, people. But, you know what? I got to throw it back to Trump, too, because he's pissed me off as well. And this one's going to piss you off, too. Trump tells Fox and Friends, I want a trial. And I think this is smart. But here's what he says. And I'm not going to play the video. You can find it. Here's what he says. The bottom line is, all those witnesses, they're all shifty shifts. He noted, adding, don't forget there was no due process. You can't have lawyers. We couldn't have any witnesses. I'm going to say that again, and this is important, and you'll see this soon. I quote, this is what President Trump said. don't forget there was no due process. I find that ironic because if you remember, right after Parkland, Trump said, take the guns first, then due process. Do you remember that? The left might argue, take the presidency first, then due process. Of which, in both cases, nobody gets due process. But look, you can't have it both ways. I don't know about you, but just as a regular Joe Blow, you know what I want in politics? I want consistency. I want the law applied consistently. And I want people's rights protected consistently. Enough about that. I'm so mad I just had spit fly out of my mouth. That is disgusting. You guys probably couldn't see that happen from your end, but I did. I wonder how much that actually happens to to other vloggers, podcasters, radio stars. I mean, geez, how many times has Rush Limbaugh or Michael Savage or Howie Carr. I love Howie Carr, by the way. That guy's amazing. If you don't know who Howie Carr is, you are missing a great radio show. Anyways, I digress. So let's continue. I want to talk about world news. Eventually we're going to get to some pretty important two-way news stories. Let's take a look at this. I want you to see these headlines, so I'm probably going to move through some of them quick to get to my analysis of it. Campus under siege as Hong Kong police battle protesters. So things are getting hot and heavy over in Hong Kong. Now, then the next story, the next headline. Jesus, these things. Hong Kong police say surrender is the only option for the protesters. So here's what they're saying. This is what's actually going on.
We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships.
We got the Borg here.
Biological and technological distinctiveness
is
to
futile.
our own. Your culture will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile.
So, let's think about that. Surrender is the only option. No, you always have more options. Right? You always have more options. And let's take a look at what they're doing. Desperate Hong Kong protesters explore sewers in campus escape bid. First off, good on them. I want them to get out and keep the fight. Get out, flank those sons of bitches. Take out those commies. Look, guess what? You know what? I have no problem saying this to the Chinese. The only good commie's a dead commie, so go to hell. I hope these Hong Kong protesters, I hope they make you think twice. Maybe we need another, was it T1 and, I can't even say it. Look, here's the reality. These people want freedom. They may die for it. But you know what? I have a feeling these people would rather die for the freedoms that we take for granted over here than die as commie bastard slaves. In the face of Chinese tyranny, pro-freedom Hong Kong protesters are taken to reenacting the Shawshank Redemption right now to escape prison, get away from these authoritarian regimes, goon squads. You know, by the way, I'm sorry if I provided spoilers to a 25-year-old film, and if you're mad about that, you know, just stop. You had your chance. And it is going to be on TNT on Thursday at noon if you're home and want to rewatch it. Just throwing it out there. TNT, you're welcome for helping getting 6 more views for the Shawshank Redemption on Thursday. But no, this is absurd. All these people want is freedom. And they're willing to fight for it. Yet here, we're fighting to give it away. We're I have an idea. I have a proposal. Why don't we trade China all their citizens of Hong Kong, and they can have all our Democrats. They can have like at least half of our Republicans too. Right? I mean, just send them on over. You have them. They want to live under authoritarianism. They want to be pawns, be slaves. Tyranny coming to the United States. Man. Okay. You know what? We're done with that. We're going to move on because I have some other things that have me pissed off today. You're like, this is supposed to be a comedy show. You are angry today. You know what? I'm not angry. I'm passionate. And there are things you should be angry about and passionate about and you should fight against. And I think we're in interesting times. Everywhere you go right now, half the news stories I'm seeing out there, mainstream news, is they're talking about, there's wars and rumors of wars, people. Talking about civil war within the United States has become a mainstream discussion. Look, there's no better way to guarantee something happens than by just consistently talking about it and making the physical manifestation of your talk happen. Having been to war, I pray to God that we do not see that happen here. I never want to see war again. I carry a gun to protect my life every day. Actually, I lie. Most of the time, I actually carry two. I got the main one, then I got a backup, and then I have a spare mag for the main gun. Yeah, deal with it. Here's the reality. I never want to pull a trigger in anger. I tell you, having actually had people in the sights of my rifle before, choosing who lives and who dies, playing God. Not many people, no sane person can enjoy that. And if you were a sane person and you experienced that, it takes a long time for people to process that. And I cannot think of any worse war than fighting brothers and sisters, neighbors, the town over. That would be bloody. There goes my dog making noise. The American Civil War killed over 600,000 people died during our Civil War. That was a huge amount of the population then. That's a huge number now. That was a bigger number then. My dog is trying to make an appearance. There she is. Hey, River. We'll go out in a little bit. What can I say? She probably wants to go out, but she'll get to go in a little bit. Let's get through these stories. All right. Gun talk. Gun from Chicago buyback program. Found near dead gang member in police shooting. So here's the story, basically, from a terrible headline, by the way. This guy gets shot after he found his dad's old .38 Smith & Wesson revolver, and he turned it in. And then somehow, that same gun, and this gun was turned in for $100 in 2004. It was turned in, supposed to be destroyed. And then that was turned in and then found dead to a body involved in a police shooting 8 years later. The guy says, I'm doing the right thing. And in the process, someone didn't do what they were supposed to do. That calls the question into process. What's happening after you turn those weapons in? Well, maybe you should recognize that things aren't always as they seem, and it's just a scheme. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my head. She's got the head, my wires from my headphone wrapped around her snout. Oh my God. Okay, River, you're a mess. I love you, baby. You're a hot mess. Now she's licking the microphone. This is bad. Oh, you guys can't quite see her fully, but she's there. Little puppy making an appearance on the show. I love you, baby. All right. So, look, that's what's happening. When these people are making the mistake of turning in their weapons and becoming slaves, well, now criminals are getting those guns and people are being shot. Why? I don't know. Maybe because it's Chicago and the police are all sorts of corrupt. River, baby. Down. Down. Off. She's not listening. She wants to be famous. All right. Here. Come on. Get famous. Get famous. Get in the camera. Yeah. The government would never lie. That's why when Barr said there was no conspiracy with Epstein, obviously nothing bad happens. No, D. No, she's actually adding more spit by licking me. Stop it. Okay. Now, Mexicans sue Walmart over El Paso shooting. Let's get to the nitty-gritty of the quotes. The objective of these suits presented in El Paso County is to hold the company responsible for not taking reasonable and necessary measures to protect its clients from the attack, the foreign ministry said in the statement. Yes, this is the government of Mexico suing Walmart. The plaintiffs are seeking not only justice for themselves, but security for the general public. Walmart said in September it would stop selling ammunition for handguns and some military-style rifles at its stores, calling the status quo on firearms in the United States unacceptable. The U.S.-based retail giant also said it would bar customers from carrying firearms in their stores. A new shooting in an Oklahoma Walmart left 3 people dead Monday, including the suspected gunman. Another Walmart shooting in July killed 2 employees. I think this lawsuit is very, very well deserved. Walmart has become a victim disarmament zone. Walmart has become a victim disarmament zone. And since they refuse to let their customers carry to defend themselves, they need to step up and provide armed and trained security. Or just reverse the stupid policy that has made their locations kill zones in the first place. How about that? Because if I were a sick person and I wanted to go do harm, here's places I would go do it. Walmart, schools, churches and other places of worship. You know, all those places that are federal gun-free zones. You know where I would not go? I damn sure wouldn't go into a police office. Would you? Would you go into a police department, start shooting that up? Hell no. You want to know why? Because these cowards, they don't want a challenge. They want to be able to shoot people, and they don't want to fight back. I digress. Now, final story of the day. 3 California shootings in 3 days prove laws are useless. Let's take a second. I'm going to read this story. California, with a third more in population, has almost twice as many mass shootings as a gun-friendly state like Texas since 1982. 10 people were killed in 3 mass shootings in California in just 4 days, marking a particularly brutal wave of gun violence incidents in the state. On Thursday, a 16-year-old student from Segas High in Santa Clarita, 30 miles north of Los Angeles, shot 5 classmates, then killed himself. 2 of the victims, a 14-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl, succumbed to their injuries, as did the gunman. On Saturday morning, a gunman in San Diego killed his estranged wife and 3 of their children, boys ages 3, 5, and 11. A 4th son, age 9, was on life support over the weekend, and the gunman also died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The following night, 4 people were shot dead in Fresno, 200 miles north of LA, after a shooter entered a backyard party and fired into the crowd. The victims in the Sunday evening attack were men between the ages of 25 and 35, who said 6 others were injured and expected to survive, thank God. Wow. Including the gunman, 12 people died and at least 10 others were injured in the 3 tragedies, with countless additional students, families, and communities terrorized and traumatized by the attacks. The failure to protect our communities families, and children is a waking nightmare that needs to end. Former Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords said in a statement Monday. She also said, if we don't act, generations of Americans will expect gun violence to be a public safety threat that could change their lives no matter where they live. The problem with Giffords' statement, though, is that California has virtually every bit of gun control her group pushes. They have universal background checks and red flag laws. They have assault weapons bans and magazine restrictions. They have all of it. The answer to this problem is simple. You need to accept that humans are often irrational and evil. No matter how many laws get passed, violent minds will strive to harm, kill, hurt people. It has been proven time and time again, the only way to stop bad guys with a gun is to have a good guy with a gun. Just as we put down rabid dogs to protect ones we love, we have to do so to rabid, two-legged animals. As I've already said, I never wish to pull a trigger against another human being. The thought is revolting. But if someone is threatening my life or my loved ones' lives, I will not hesitate. Neither should you. My friends, we really live in some precarious times. We really do. And it just seems that we got people talking about banning guns, banning freedoms, banning rights, all the while talking about civil war. When even former President Obama is telling Democrats to cool their jets because it could bring about civil war. You know that something's got to give. So, do I want you to be scared? Is this supposed to be fear porn? No. Actually, really, most of this is just the rantings that help give me some self-therapy and make me get my frustrations out. But, that aside, here we are. This is nearly the end of 2019. We live in a clown world. And River's back. All right, my friends. I am going to go walk this puppy who is begging for attention. I have to go out in the snow. Yay. So I hope everyone here enjoyed this week's episode. I will be back next weekend. Maybe River makes another guest appearance. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you are new here, I need you to help me out. And I need you to subscribe. Join us. Hit that thumbs up. And if you want to support the channel, please go over to Patreon and help out. Every bit helps. And the more supporters, the more giveaways I can start to do. And also just more investment back into the channel. One of my lights over here is dying. I got to get a new one. They're like $100. So yeah. Anyways, y'all, thank you again. I will see y'all next weekend.